Hello, good evening, and welcome to JNN News. I am Puchilu Badu, and here are our headlines. President Donald Trump invades Venezuela and captures President Nicolas Madura. Jamaica sees 42% drop in homicides. Renowned boxer Anthony Joshua involved in fatal crash that claims the lives of two. Former CEO of Stocks and Securities Limited declares his innocence, and three drown at Helsha Beach in St. Catherine. Stay tuned for these and other stories. And now, here are the details. United States President Donald Trump has unilaterally invaded a sovereign nation, captured its elected leader, and declared that the U.S. will govern that nation. All of this goes against international and local codes of conduct. President of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, has been captured and removed from his country. President Maduro is still the rightful president of Venezuela. This declared by Vice President Delcy Rodriguez after being sworn in as president, vowing to defend Venezuela's resources. After President Maduro's capture by Donald Trump, Rodriguez declared that Maduro remains the president of Venezuela and called on the USA to free him, stating that the door is open for dialogue. A plane carried the deposed leader, Nicolas Maduro, arrived in New York following his capture by US forces. President Maduro and his wife, Sila Flores, were reportedly taken by US authorities and removed from Venezuela. The couple is said to face criminal charges after their indictment in New York on drug-related charges. A bounty of 55 million US dollars had been set for Maduro and four others for using, quote, the US drug trade as a weapon against America, unquote. Venezuela has by far the largest reserves of oil in the world. Many people have voiced their belief that the attack on Venezuela and the takeover of the country is in an attempt to take over its oil, which will facilitate Israel launching a full attack on Iran. Meanwhile, air traffic in the Caribbean has been disrupted, with flights to Trinidad and several other islands turned back mid-air. Over 200 flights are said to have been rescheduled or rerouted and delayed. Caribbean community CARICOM leaders met early on Saturday to discuss the U.S. invasion of Venezuela and the subsequent capture of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. The CARICOM Secretariat issued a statement to the effect that the 15-member regional group is actively monitoring the situation, which is a grave concern to the region, with possible implications for neighboring countries. It is said that Venezuela's oil industry is in disrepair after years of neglect and international sanctions. It is felt that this recent invasion should not dramatically affect the prices of oil And the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is quoted as saying that what matters is that when a person realizes the enemy is arrogantly trying to impose something on the country, on its officials, on the government, and on the nation, one must firmly stand against that enemy and bare one's chest in resistance and not yield to the enemy. This is one of the stances taken by world leaders. Another stance by the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, quoted as saying, I want to establish the fact first. I want to speak to President Trump. I want to speak to allies. I can be absolutely clear that we were not involved, and I will always say and believe we should all uphold international law. Italy's opposition party leader and ex-prime minister Giuseppe Conte adds the American aggression against Venezuela has no legal basis. We are facing a blatant violation of international law, which certifies the dominance of the strongest and best equipped militarily. The Mexican foreign minister added, the Mexican government strongly condemns and rejects the military actions carried out in recent hours by the United States of America in Venezuela, in clear violation of the UN Charter. The president of Belarus categorically condemned the action of American aggression against Venezuela. Alexander Lukashenko spoke about the consequences in an interview with American journalists, referring to the situation as a second Vietnam, which Americans don't need. The Russian Foreign Ministry has reportedly said that the United States has committed an act of armed aggression against Venezuela, describing it as being deeply concerning and condemnable, and that it is important to prevent further escalation through dialogue. And interestingly, Nike tech searches spiked following Nicolas Madura's arrest. This only goes to show the impact that celebrities and global leaders have on the average social media users. Nicolas Madura was wearing Nike Tech clothes, and this prompted a spike in searches for that garment. In news further closer to home, 3 persons lost their lives on January 1 at the Helsha Beach in St. Catherine. According to reports, at least at about 3 p.m., 24-year-old Alia Dawkins and 12-year-old Aaron Russell were swimming at Sand Hills Beach in Helsha when they got into difficulties. Constable Shamar Grant reportedly went to their assistance but was unable to rescue them as he himself got into difficulties. Grant, along with the other 2 persons, are suspected to have drowned as their bodies have not resurfaced. And the young lady was rescued and taken to the Spanish Town Hospital, where she was admitted but later succumbed to her injuries while undergoing treatment. Jamaica is celebrating a significant reduction in intentional homicides for 2025. Murders fell by 42%, with 666 homicides up to December 27, making it the lowest in 32 years, with 654 in 1993. and the first time the figure will go below 700 in 33 years, with it being 690 in 1994. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, attributes this substantial reduction in crime to hard work by its members and intelligence led policing against gangs, in addition to increased firearm interdictions. Notably, there was a 64% increase in killings by the security forces, which many persons find alarming. The government of Jamaica has started disbursing the first round of $20,000 grant payments under the Solidarity Program, which are aimed to benefit thousands of Jamaicans who are not typically covered under traditional social welfare programs. The move is an initiative by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and aims to reach Jamaicans who are not covered by PATH, Poor Relief, the Social Persons Pensions Program, the National Insurance Scheme, or the Reverse Income Tax Credit Scheme. It is estimated that 50,000 persons will benefit from the one-time cash transfers, with the second payouts slated for later this month. The government has allocated $75 million to assist churches in their recovery efforts following Hurricane Melissa. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament of Southwest St. Catherine, Mr. Everard Warmington, is questioning the government's decision to allocate the $75 million to churches and faith-based organizations for rebuilding after Hurricane Melissa. Mr. Warmington explained that while he is an active member of the church and fervent churchgoer, he is adamant that the church and the state should remain separate and that it is not the duty of government to rebuild churches with funds taken from taxpayers. He suggests that churches combine memberships and pool their resources in their reconstruction efforts. A member of the Jamaica Defense Force, JDF, allegedly discharges firearm in public in St. Elizabeth on Christmas Day. He was arrested and charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and unlawful discharge of a firearm in a public place. He is 32-year-old Roshane Brown, also known as Shane, of Comfort Hall in Manchester. The incident allegedly occurred at about 5:15 a.m. last Thursday, after which Brown was said to have been confronted by an off-duty police officer for allegedly discharging 2 rounds into the air from a pistol. The JDF has condemned the practice of the servicemen as being unlawful, reckless, and irresponsible, and that such actions are not consistent with the values, standards, and professional conduct expected of all members of the JDF. Jamaican-born veteran educator Kamar Samuels has been appointed to lead the New York City's public school system. His official title is Chancellor of New York Public Schools. The appointment was made by Mayor-elect Zoran Mandini. This elevates Kamar Samuels at the helm of the largest public school system in the United States. At present, Mr. Samuels is a Manhattan-based school superintendent. His new job will see him responsible for over 1 million students and handling a budget of 40 billion United States dollars. Mr. Samuel's experience spans over 20 years in public education in New York City at the classroom and district levels administration. He attended Jamaica College and later migrated to the United States. He studied accounting and earned a degree from Barrow College, CUNY, followed by a Master of Science degree in education in childhood education and at Lehman College, CUNY. Mr. Samuels also had stints as a finance manager with the National Basketball Association, NBA, and as a business manager and data specialist at the Gun Hill Road School and principal of the Bronx Writing Academy. A recent study has raised concerns over the sexual practices of Jamaican women, particularly among teenagers. According to the research, a large percentage of Jamaican teenagers, including girls as young as 15, are engaging in sexual activities with multiple partners. The study also indicated that many adult women, some of whom are married or in committed relationships, have also confirmed having multiple sexual partners. The study was conducted by Dr. Paul Bourne and is a probability based cross sectional study. Renowned boxer Anthony Joshua went from winning nearly $100 million 2 weeks ago in his infamous fight with Jake Paul to escaping with his life in a car crash in Nigeria on December 30. There were 5 adult males involved in the tragic crash, two of whom succumbed to their injuries. Anthony Joshua sustained minor injuries and received medical attention. The Lexus Jeep that he had been traveling in was allegedly traveling beyond the legal prescribed speed limit, according to the Federal Road Safety Corps. The driver lost control during an overtaking maneuver and crashed into a stationary truck by the side of the road. The 2 fatalities were Joshua's strength and conditioning coach, Sina Garrick, and personal trainer, Lateef Ayodele. The British boxer has allegedly vowed never to return to Nigeria again. Former CEO of the tainted SSL company, Zachary Harding, has declared his innocence and insists that he was involved in no wrongdoing. This after Mr. Harding was one of several former top company employees who were charged in the multi-billion-dollar fraud investigations of Stocks and Securities Limited last week. Harding, along with founding SSL director Hugh Croskery and daughter Sarah Meany, were arrested and charged last Saturday with breaches of a number of financial laws. Mr. Harding has declared through his attorney that he has not been the beneficiary of or involved in any way in the misappropriation of funds or theft of money of any SSL client, and that he acted with integrity and professionalism. Mr. Harding continues to cooperate willingly with the police in their investigations. And now to end the news, here are our main points. President Donald Trump invades Venezuela and captures President Nicolas Maduro. Jamaica sees 42% drop in homicides. Renowned boxer Anthony Joshua involved in crash that kills 2. Former CEO of Stocks and Securities Limited declares his innocence, and 3 drown at Helsha Beach in St. Catherine. Thank you for joining me. I am Puchilu Badu, and remember, if it no gosso, it nearly gosso.